Well, welcome everybody to our online program on addiction and recovery from the Sunshine Coast Health Center up here in Powell River, BC. And we've been providing some tips for families in this program. And another tip you can operate by is the idea of being true to yourself. And this is very important to understand in order to deal with family members. There is no recipe for what to do. I mean, that's one of the key things. Now, there are some people, and a lot of books, unfortunately, that give this impression that if you help out your loved one, for example, you're an enabler or you're rescuing them. And I even know some therapists who tell families that if you don't cut them off, for example, stop giving them money, you are actually responsible for maintaining the addiction. And they give this idea, either indirectly or directly, that somehow the family is responsible for, or at least in part responsible for their loved one's addiction. It's a very sad way of looking at it. Because my experience is most family members are simply doing what they think is the best thing they can do given this very abnormal situation. And to suggest that somehow what they're doing is somehow maintaining an addiction really flies in the face of this principle we talked about before, that each adult is the author of his life. And so the responsibility for the addiction is actually with the person who's using. It's not with the families or anything. So when you want to help your loved one, this idea of being true to yourself, what makes you comfortable in the way you're going to support your loved one? If it makes you comfortable to, give a few bucks, that's great. The only danger is that if you give a few bucks and then use it as a way of trying to control your loved one. So I will help you out with your credit card debt, but only under the condition that you go to treatment. Right? So this is more an attempt to try to take control of another adult human being. Right? If it's okay to help people with their debt, that's fine. But basically to take the attitude, well, they're the author of their life, so I will help them out because I feel good, but really I have no control over what's going to happen. So not to have any real expectations that things will change dramatically or anything like that, because it's actually not up to the family to help their loved one change. That's the responsibility for their loved one. So it's this kind of idea, whatever makes you comfortable, right? If we often tell members of our in our family program that if you want to go out on a vacation and you don't want your loved one at home alone, that's fine. There's not a problem with that. I mean, they're all adults. They can all figure this out. And it's important for you not to, just do things in the hope that somehow what you do will have some kind of magical effect on your loved one's recovery, right? Because that's not your job. That's their job, right? They are the author of their lives. So you just do what's comfortable for you. And that could look like anything. And I've seen at the facility, families have chosen many different ways of helping their loved ones and supporting them. And yeah, they all seem to work equally well, as long as this idea is in place that, they're comfortable with doing something, this particular thing. And if they aren't comfortable with doing it, that's fine too, right? Because the families are the authors of their life. Anyway, that's it for this week's program, and we'll be back next week with another one.